Parmalat Everfresh in its new Easy Pour pack.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Morning Espresso just on SABC3. We're chilling with our coffee friends once again this morning. David, the owner of Truth Coffee in Cape Town, and of course the 2008 South African Barrister Champion, Jose. Now, over the past few weeks, guys, we've been tracing the origins of coffee all the way from ancient Ethiopia. Is it Ethiopia, right?
Yep.
Ethiopia, there we go.
Coffee
yes.
discovered, yeah.
Exactly, but this morning you're here to clear up some misconceptions around coffee.
Exactly.
And I know flavour is one of them. So how do you get the proper flavour of coffee?
Well, when we talk about flavour in coffee, we need to decide what flavour is. And for us, the first misconception is that flavour and bitterness have nothing to do with each other. And it's very important to realize that. When you think about how this coffee is tasting, is it good or bad? Bitterness isn't a flavour. It's actually something you want to keep in balance. So to get the maximum flavour in coffee, the first thing you want to do is you want to store your beans properly.
Okay, you want to store your beans. So how do you do that?
Not in the fridge or freezer. If you're keeping coffee for a year, keep it in the freezer. But the problem is when you take coffee out of the fridge or out of the freezer, it condenses. Like a beer glass, when you take it out of the fridge, condenses. And we don't want to do that to the coffee.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is keep it in a sealed container in a cool, dark place, like a cupboard.
Okay.
Perfect. Nice and easy.
But you need to make sure that it is sealed.
You need to make sure it's sealed, and you need to make sure that it's fresh.
Okay.
Don't keep coffee for more than a month. There's no need to. It's not hard to buy coffee in this country. Buy a small quantity, what you'll use over a week or two regularly.
Okay, that's it. Right.
So that's the first recommendation. Second thing is this dark roast, light roast. Many people say, oh, I like a dark roast coffee or I like a light roast coffee. It's the wrong thing. We want a coffee that's roasted to its optimum.
Okay.
And that's not something we can tell from outside, and each coffee bean is different.
Yeah.
So you need to find a small roaster that you can trust. So that's another big
Okay, so you need to kind of go out there and experiment and
exactly.
find for yourself.
Exactly. Next misconception is very hot coffee. And the reason people like very hot coffee is if the coffee's not so great, it's easy to drink if it's piping hot and you can't actually taste it anymore.
Yeah.
So you'll find that beautiful coffees actually taste good as they cool down or get cold. We can make coffee, we spoke about making coffee in a plunger.
Yeah.
You can make coffee at room temperature. You just need to let it stand for about 14 to 18 hours. And it is gorgeous and sweet and beautiful with all these complexities and flavors. And that's what we want out of coffee. We always say our byline is flavor, not bitterness, no sugar required. That doesn't mean don't put sugar in.
Yeah.
But now Jose is going to show you a great way of frothing milk at home.
Okay, this is interesting because this is a regular coffee plunger.
Regular coffee plunger. It's not a special milk one.
Yeah.
Any old plunger will do. And that's as hard as it is.
You're not even putting much effort into that.
Not at all.
Listen, for Jose, nothing's much effort. Let's be honest.
Okay, so
there it froths up. Another thing, another myth is full cream milk froths better.
That's it.
In the old school, we were trying to get these ice cream cones of froth and put sprinkles on. We don't do that anymore. We're trying to keep it contained, keep it tight, this micro texture. And for that, we want cold, full cream milk. Works best for that.
Okay, so I was just about to ask you the temperature of the milk. Yeah.
Cold milk froths best. Okay, if you want hot milk, you can use hot milk. Jose's just going to spoon some over there.
Look at that.
Yeah, and there we go, and really nice. So when you're searching for coffee, find a roaster you can trust.
Okay.
Buy freshly roasted coffee. It really makes all the difference in the world. And pay attention to the little details. It really, really, really makes a big difference. And your full cream milk is going to taste better. You can do everything that you need to do with low fat, but it's not quite the same. Then Jose's going to do the whole thing.
So this is like your machine frothed milk.
That's your machine frothed
well,
milk.
almost. Close enough, but certainly
milk done by the normal espresso machine.
Yeah. And that you can do on a home machine or professional machine, all the same thing. But the big things are, you know, just watch out for bitterness as an excuse for flavour.
Yeah.
It really isn't. You know, more bitter isn't more flavour. We want the fullest, the most interesting flavour. And the difference between a good and a bad coffee, when you taste both of them, you get this coffee on your palate initially.
Exactly.
Bad coffee, that secondary lot of flavours is harsh. We don't want that harshness. We don't want it clawing at the back of our throats. And the difference between a great coffee, which you're about to have, and a good coffee is aftertaste. Long, lingering, pleasant aftertaste. There you go.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
I think for me,
Enjoy.
the biggest advice is not to drink your coffee too hot. Thank you. Let me taste this. There's that aftertaste we're talking about. Perfect. Great stuff. That is how you make a good cup of coffee. Over to the rest of the team. Thanks.
Stay with eXpresso and SABC3.